The fitness world has been shaking harder than a protein shake in a blender lately. While everyone expected gyms to bounce back stronger after the pandemic, some big names are actually closing their doors faster than you can say New Year's resolution. Here are 10 gyms and fitness chains that are going out of business in 2025. 1. The mystery that is One Gym. One Gym started out as the scrappy underdog of the fitness world. Nobody really knows when it first opened its doors. What we do know is that this chain built its whole identity around being the cheap option for people who wanted to work out without breaking the bank. The concept was simple enough. Strip away all the fancy stuff. No saunas, no juice bars, no towel service, and just give people barbells and treadmills at rock-bottom prices. It was like the no-frills airline of gyms. Members didn't care about the peeling paint on the walls or the ancient equipment that looked like it belonged in a museum. They just wanted somewhere to sweat without spending their grocery money. But here's the thing about being the cheapest option. When times get tough, even cheap becomes expensive. The pandemic hit One Gym like a ton of weights falling off a squat rack. They were already running on thin margins, and when they had to shut down for months while still paying rent and utilities, things got ugly fast. Lifestyle Fitness faced significant financial struggles, with multiple locations closing across both the US and UK. The chain struggled with increasing debt, low member retention, and competition from bigger brands like Planet Fitness and Pure Gym. This pattern of struggles isn't unique to just one budget gym chain. One Gym's business model relied on high volume and low costs. They needed hundreds of people paying small monthly fees to make the math work. When lockdowns happened, those hundreds of people either canceled their memberships or put them on hold. Meanwhile, bigger chains with deeper pockets could weather the storm by offering virtual classes or outdoor workouts. One Gym didn't have those resources. Now they're stuck in this weird limbo where they are too cheap to invest in upgrades but too broke to stay competitive. Their equipment is older than some of their members, and their facilities look like they haven't been updated since flip phones were cool. Members keep leaving for newer, shinier gyms that offer more bang for their buck. What makes this whole situation even weirder is how quiet One Gym has been about their struggles. While other chains are putting out press releases and trying to reassure members, One Gym seems to be hoping nobody notices the for-lease signs going up in their windows. It's like they're playing hide-and-seek with their own bankruptcy. 2. Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym has a story that reads like a Hollywood movie, which is fitting, since it basically invented the whole muscle-bound California dream aesthetic that movies love so much. In 1965, Joe Gold, a Marine, showed the world how to turn scrap into gold. With the utmost passion and an even bigger vision, the son of a junk dealer turned a modest concrete building in Venice Beach, California, into the mecca for hardcore weightlifters and fitness enthusiasts. Joe Gold wasn't your typical businessman. This guy was a former merchant marine who could have easily ended up selling used cars or running a bait shop. Instead, he had this crazy idea that people needed a serious place to lift serious weights. Bodybuilder Joe Gold was dissatisfied with ad hoc gyms, and in 1965 he converted a building he owned on Pacific Avenue in Venice Beach into the first Gold's Gym. The original Gold's Gym looked nothing like the gleaming franchise locations we know today. It was basically a concrete box filled with equipment that Joe built himself. No air conditioning, no fancy mirrors, just raw iron and determination. But something magical happened there. The biggest, strongest guys in California started showing up, and before long it became legendary. Then Arnold Schwarzenegger walked through those doors, and everything changed. This Austrian oak tree of a man turned Gold's Gym into his personal training ground. And when the documentary Pumping Iron came out in 1977, the iconic docudrama launched the sport into mainstream America. Suddenly, everyone wanted to train where Arnold trained. The franchise explosion that followed was insane. Gold's Gym locations started popping up everywhere, from strip malls in suburban Texas to downtown high-rises in major cities. Each location promised to deliver that Venice Beach magic, that hardcore bodybuilding atmosphere that made champions. But here's where things get complicated. Franchising is tricky business, and not every Gold's Gym owner had Joe Gold's vision or business sense. Some locations were amazing. They captured that hardcore spirit and built strong communities. Others were just using the name to attract members while cutting corners everywhere else. Fast forward to 2025 and we're seeing the cracks in the foundation. Multiple Gold's Gym locations are closing down in El Paso, Texas. The two locations were both closed on April 30th, 2025. On the same day, the gym's owner and operator, RCJ2 Enterprises, LLC, filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. This isn't even Gold's Gym's first dance with bankruptcy. The brand has been through financial troubles before, which shows how challenging it is to maintain that premium image while keeping prices competitive. The fitness industry has gotten incredibly crowded, with budget chains offering basic services for $10 a month and boutique studios offering specialized classes that Gold's Gym can't match. The brand is caught between two worlds. They can't compete with Planet Fitness on price, and they can't compete with Equinox on luxury. They're stuck in the middle, trying to be everything to everyone, while their legendary Venice Beach location becomes more of a tourist attraction than a working gym. 3. 24-hour fitness. 24-hour fitness used to be the answer to everyone's scheduling problems. Work the night shift? No problem. Want to exercise at 3 a.m. because you're having insomnia? They've got you covered. Free time only exists between your kids' soccer practice and dinner prep? Perfect, they are always open. The concept was brilliant in its simplicity. While other gyms closed at 9 p.m. or took Sundays off, 24-hour fitness said we never sleep. They tapped into this huge market of people with weird schedules. Nurses, security guards, insomniacs, early risers, night owls, and everyone in between. At their peak, 24-hour fitness was everywhere. They had over 400 locations stuffed with every piece of equipment you could imagine. Cardio machines lined up like soldiers, weight rooms that could handle the biggest crowds, group fitness studios pumping out classes around the clock. They weren't fancy, but they were reliable and always there when you needed them. But being open 24/7 isn't as glamorous as it sounds. Think about the costs. You need staff, security, utilities, and maintenance around the clock. Your electric bill never gets a break. You need people to clean at weird hours when most of the world is sleeping. Equipment breaks down more often when it's being used constantly. The pandemic was like kryptonite to 24-hour fitness. National gym chain 24-Hour Fitness has filed for bankruptcy after the COVID-19 pandemic forced its facilities shut for months. Imagine paying for electricity, rent, and security 24 hours a day while earning $0 because you're legally required to stay closed. It was financial suicide. They filed for bankruptcy in 2020 and closed over 100 locations permanently. The company got bought out, restructured, and tried to make a comeback, but the damage was done. They went from being the sleepless giant to barely staying awake. Now in 2025, 24-hour fitness has become something nobody wants to be. The worst gym chain in America according to multiple reviews. They have about 400 locations left, which sounds like a lot until you remember they used to have way more. The new ownership is trying, but they're fighting an uphill battle. 4. Blink Fitness. Blink Fitness had such a smart idea that it's almost painful to watch them struggle. They looked at the gym market and saw this huge gap between Planet Fitness at the bottom and Equinox at the top. Their plan? Create a gym that was nicer than the bargain basement options but way cheaper than the luxury clubs. Blink Fitness, the low-price gym chain with monthly memberships ranging from $15 to $45, filed for bankruptcy Monday in August 2024. But their story starts way before that bankruptcy filing, back when they were the scrappy little brother of the luxury Equinox chain. Equinox was smart to create Blink. They knew their main brand was never going to attract the masses. Not everyone can afford $200 plus monthly memberships for premium facilities. But they also knew there was money to be made in the budget market if you did it right. So they created Blink as their entry-level brand, kind of like how Toyota created Scion to attract younger buyers. Blink's gyms were designed to feel modern and clean without breaking the bank. They had decent equipment, bright lighting, and facilities that didn't smell like a locker room that hadn't been cleaned since the Clinton administration. The idea was to give people a gym experience that felt premium, but with budget-friendly prices. For a while, it worked beautifully. Blink expanded to over 100 locations across the country. They attracted members who were tired of the no-frills approach of ultra-budget gyms, but couldn't justify spending luxury gym money. It was the Goldilocks zone of fitness, not too cheap, not too expensive, just right. Then the pandemic hit, and Blink's carefully balanced business model started falling apart. The company's financial struggles started after it was forced to close all of its stores during the pandemic, which caused it to lose out on membership revenue for 9 months. 9 months without revenue while still paying rent, utilities, and other fixed costs is enough to kill most businesses. But Blink had additional problems. They weren't just dealing with lost revenue, they were dealing with a backlog of rent payments they couldn't make during the closures. Landlords weren't exactly in a forgiving mood. The bankruptcy filing revealed some harsh realities. Blink listed between $100 million and $500 million in both assets and liabilities, with $280 million in debt. For a chain that was supposed to be the smart, profitable middle ground, those numbers tell a story of a company that expanded too fast and couldn't handle a major crisis. Blink spokesperson said they have made the decision to close approximately 10% of our gyms. When you're already struggling and you have to close locations, it creates this downward spiral. Fewer locations mean less revenue, which means less money to invest in the remaining locations, which means those locations start looking shabby, which drives away members. Now Blink is trying to emerge from bankruptcy and convince people to give them another chance. They are closing underperforming locations, restructuring their debt, and hoping that the fitness market will give them room to succeed. But bankruptcy is like a scar on a brand. It never completely goes away, and it makes people wonder if you'll be around long enough to honor your membership commitments. 5. Snap Fitness. Snap Fitness built their whole brand around one simple promise: convenient fitness for busy people. No long-term contracts, 24/7 access, small locations in convenient spots, and equipment that gets the job done without all the fuss. It was like the convenience store of gyms. You knew exactly what you were getting, and it was always there when you needed it. The timing seemed perfect when they launched. This was back when the 24-hour gym concept was still relatively new. The first 24-hour gym opened in 1983, and by the time Snap Fitness came around, people were starting to realize they needed fitness options that fit their crazy schedules. Snap's approach was different from the big box gyms. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, they focused on being convenient to someone. Their locations were smaller, which meant they could fit into strip malls and neighborhoods where bigger gyms couldn't afford the rent. They weren't trying to impress you with luxury, they were trying to make it easy for you to work out. The franchising model worked well for them initially. Nearly 1,000 locations worldwide is nothing to sneeze at. Each location was independently owned, which meant local owners could adapt to their specific markets. A Snap Fitness in downtown Minneapolis might look different from one in suburban Phoenix, but they all offered the same basic promise of convenient, accessible fitness. Their monthly fees around $40 put them in that middle market, more expensive than Planet Fitness but cheaper than the premium chains. For that price, you got access to standard equipment: cardio machines, free weights, resistance bands, TRX systems, strength machines, squat racks, and the holy grail of convenience: 24/7 access with your own key fob or code. But convenience comes with hidden costs that aren't always obvious until things go wrong. Those small locations that seemed so smart, they couldn't offer the amenities that many gym members wanted. Most Snap Fitness locations don't have pools, saunas, steam rooms, or even tanning beds. Some don't even have showers, which is a problem if you want to work out before work or during lunch breaks. The franchise model that helped them expand quickly also created consistency problems. When every location is independently owned, quality can vary wildly. One Snap Fitness might be immaculately maintained with new equipment, while another might feel like it's held together with duct tape and good intentions. The pandemic exposed another weakness in the Snap Fitness model. Their small locations meant they couldn't spread fixed costs across as many members as bigger gyms. When lockdowns hit and membership revenue disappeared, many franchise owners found themselves paying rent and utilities on spaces that generated zero income for months. The company is still operating and still has locations, but they're fighting for relevance in a market that has moved past what they originally offered. 6. LA Fitness. LA Fitness has one of those origin stories that sounds like it was written by someone who believed in the American dream a little too hard. Back in 1984, when everyone was obsessed with getting their bodies ready for the beach and Jane Fonda workout videos were flying off the shelves, two guys named Louis Welch and Chin Yol Yi decided Los Angeles needed more places to get ripped. These weren't fitness industry veterans or former bodybuilders. They were just regular businessmen who saw an opportunity in the booming fitness craze. They opened their first location right in the heart of LA, betting that people would pay good money for a gym that felt premium but wasn't completely out of reach for normal folks. The timing was perfect. California in the 1980s was like fitness paradise. Everyone wanted to look like they belonged in a music video or on a movie poster. LA Fitness rode that wave hard, expanding faster than a fitness influencer's follower count. By the time most people outside California had even heard of them, they already had dozens of locations. What made LA Fitness different was their everything under one roof approach. You could lift weights, swim laps, take a kickboxing class, relax in the sauna, and maybe convince yourself to try that weird piece of equipment in the corner that nobody ever uses. They were like the Swiss Army knife of gyms. Not the absolute best at any one thing, but pretty decent at everything. Their expansion strategy was aggressive. They didn't just open new locations. They bought out smaller gym chains, absorbed their members, and converted the facilities to LA Fitness standards. It was like watching a fitness empire being built one squat rack at a time. But here's where the story gets messy. LA Fitness was carrying around $1.7 billion in debt even before the pandemic hit. That's not a million, that's a billion with a B. When you're running a business with that kind of debt hanging over your head, every month matters, every membership fee counts, and every empty gym becomes a major problem. The pandemic nearly killed them. The fitness chain was already operating on a forbearance agreement and seeking a deal with lenders to shore up liquidity when COVID-19 forced gym closures. Imagine trying to service $1.7 billion in debt while your doors are locked and nobody can pay you anything. Now in 2025, LA Fitness is still standing, but they're wobbling like someone trying to balance on a stability ball for the first time. They have over 700 locations, which sounds impressive until you think about what it costs to keep all those places running. Each location needs staff, equipment maintenance, utilities, insurance, and rent. When you multiply those costs by 700 and then add $1.7 billion in debt payments, the math becomes terrifying. Members are starting to notice the strain. Equipment takes longer to get fixed when it breaks. Some locations feel understaffed during peak hours. The facilities that once felt premium now feel like they're just barely holding it together. It's hard to justify paying nearly $500 a year when the gym down the street offers similar stuff for half the price. At $38.99 per month for premier clubs and $44.99 for signature locations, plus that $49 initiation fee, LA Fitness is stuck in this weird middle ground. The competition has gotten absolutely brutal too. Budget chains offer basic services for $10 a month, while boutique fitness studios provide specialized experiences that LA Fitness can't match. LA Fitness is trying to be everything to everyone, but in today's market, that's a recipe for being nothing special to anyone. 7. Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness has one of the weirdest success stories in business history, and it all started with two brothers who accidentally created a revolution. In 1992, Michael and Mark Grandal bought a struggling Gold's Gym franchise in Dover, New Hampshire. They had no grand plan to change the fitness industry, they just wanted to run a successful gym. But something clicked when they looked at their potential customer base. Most people were intimidated by traditional gyms with all those serious bodybuilders, grunting powerlifters, and equipment that looked like medieval torture devices. The Grandal brothers realized they could make money by creating a gym for everyone else, the regular folks who just wanted to get in shape without feeling judged. The concept was brilliant in its simplicity. They painted everything purple and yellow, installed a lunk alarm that would go off if someone dropped weights too loudly, and created what they called a judgment-free zone. It was like the anti-gym gym, designed specifically for people who felt out of place at regular fitness centers. Their pricing strategy was even more genius. Basic membership for $10 per month, and they haven't changed that price in over 30 years. Think about that. While everything else in the world has gotten more expensive, Planet Fitness has kept their basic rate at $10. That's less than most people spend on a single lunch. The expansion was absolutely insane. Planet Fitness now has over 2,400 locations worldwide, making them one of the largest fitness franchises on the planet. You literally can't drive through most American towns without seeing that purple and yellow logo somewhere. They are like the McDonald's of fitness, everywhere, affordable, and consistent. But here's where things get weird. Planet Fitness built their entire brand on being different from other gyms, specifically not catering to serious fitness enthusiasts. They don't have barbells, their free weights only go up to 75 pounds, and they actively discourage the kind of hardcore training that built the fitness industry. This strategy worked great for attracting beginners, but it created some unexpected problems. The fitness world has changed dramatically since Planet Fitness first opened. CrossFit brought serious strength training to mainstream audiences. Boutique fitness studios started offering specialized experiences. Home gym equipment got better and more accessible. Suddenly, Planet Fitness's limitations started feeling less like features and more like bugs. They are dealing with what happens when your customers outgrow you. People who start at Planet Fitness as beginners eventually want to progress to heavier weights or more challenging workouts. When they hit the ceiling of what Planet Fitness offers, they leave for gyms that can support their fitness journey. It's like a restaurant that only serves appetizers. Eventually, people want a full meal. The pandemic created additional headaches. Planet Fitness managed to keep locations open, but low membership fees are only sustainable with high volume. When volume dropped during lockdowns and people started working out at home, the economics got shaky. Their Black Card membership at $24.99 includes perks like guest passes, tanning, and hydro massage, but even that premium option feels limited compared to what other gyms offer at similar prices. You can get access to pools, serious equipment, and unlimited classes at other places for not much more money. Planet Fitness can't abandon their judgment-free zone branding without losing their core customer base, but they also can't compete with serious fitness facilities without betraying everything they stand for. They are stuck being the beginner gym in a world where more people want intermediate and advanced options. 8. Anytime Fitness. Once a go-to for folks with unpredictable schedules, Anytime Fitness was all about flexibility. With over 5,100 locations worldwide and 24/7 access via key fob, it made squeezing in a workout as easy as grabbing a snack. Travelers especially loved it. Show up with your fob, and boom, you're in, no matter what city you're in. It wasn't fancy, but it got the job done. For around $41 a month, you got solid basics: treadmills, bikes, squat racks, free weights, and even a free fitness consultation when you joined. The vibe was simple: no pool parties, no steam rooms, and definitely no basketball games. It was just you, your goals, and a bunch of iron. But lately, cracks have started to show. The gym's bare-bones approach that once worked is now being overshadowed by newer spots offering luxury perks or budget-friendly pricing. With competition heating up and more people opting for bougier fitness studios or cheaper gym chains, Anytime Fitness is struggling to keep up. It turns out anytime might not mean forever, at least for some locations. 9. Curves International. Curves International had such a brilliant idea that it seemed impossible to screw up. In 1992, Gary and Diane Heaven opened the first Curves location in Harlingen, Texas, with a simple concept: create a gym specifically for women who felt intimidated by traditional fitness centers. The timing was perfect. Women in the 1990s were entering the workforce in record numbers, but most gyms were still designed by men for men. Curves offered 30-minute circuit training sessions in a supportive, women-only environment. No intimidating weight rooms, no guys checking themselves out in mirrors, no complicated equipment that required an engineering degree to operate. The circuit training concept was genius. Women would move from station to station, alternating between strength training and cardio in a structured 30-minute workout. It was efficient, effective, and designed for busy women who didn't have time to spend hours at the gym. An instructor was always there to provide guidance and encouragement. The expansion was absolutely explosive. By 2005, Curves had over 10,000 locations worldwide, making it the largest fitness franchise in history. They were opening new locations faster than Starbucks, and women everywhere were discovering that they could get a great workout without feeling self-conscious or intimidated. But success created its own problems. The 30-minute circuit format that made Curves special also made it limiting. Women who got stronger and fitter wanted more challenging workouts, But Curves couldn't provide them without abandoning their core concept. It was like a beginner guitar class that never advanced to intermediate lessons. The pricing structure became an issue too, with startup costs of $149.99 and membership fees ranging from $419.99 to $549.99. Curves was expensive compared to general fitness chains. Women could get access to pools, classes, and unlimited workout time at other gyms for similar or lower prices. The fitness industry evolved in ways that hurt Curves. Yoga studios, bar classes, and boutique fitness centers started offering specialized experiences that Curves couldn't match. CrossFit and similar programs proved that women wanted challenging, intense workouts, not just gentle circuit training. Home fitness options exploded too. Workout videos, fitness apps, and streaming classes gave women alternatives that were even more convenient than Curves' 30-minute sessions. Why drive to a gym for a 30-minute workout when you could do one in your living room? The franchise model that enabled rapid expansion became a liability during tough times. Individual franchise owners didn't have the resources to weather economic downturns or invest in facility upgrades. When locations started closing, it created a domino effect that hurt the brand's reputation. Curves proved there was huge demand for women-focused fitness options, but they couldn't adapt fast enough when the market moved beyond what they originally offered. They were the pioneers of women's fitness, but pioneers don't always make it to the promised land. 10. YouFit gyms. YouFit gyms burst onto the fitness scene like a highlighter marker in a box of pencils. Impossible to ignore, aggressively cheerful, and designed to stand out in a crowded market. Founded in 2008 in Florida, the chain decided that if Planet Fitness could succeed with purple and yellow, maybe they could do even better with purple and green. The concept was smart on paper. YouFit positioned itself as the budget gym that actually gave you decent amenities. While Planet Fitness limited weights and discouraged serious training, YouFit embraced it. While other budget chains offered bare-bones facilities, YouFit included extras like saunas, childcare, and even pickleball courts at some locations. Their membership structure was designed to compete directly with Planet Fitness. Basic plans start at just $9.99 per month, undercutting Planet Fitness by $1. Their Premium Plus membership at around $40 monthly included perks like guest passes, unlimited group classes, and access to their virtual fitness app. It was like they looked at what Planet Fitness was doing and said, "We can do that, but better." The Florida expansion went well initially. YouFit found success in a state where fitness is practically a religion, and people spend more time in gyms than some spend at work. They offered group classes like Sculpt, Cardio Dance, and Body Pump, plus personal training starting at $35 per session. For budget-conscious fitness enthusiasts, it seemed like they were getting premium experiences at discount prices. But YouFit's biggest strength was also their biggest weakness: inconsistency between locations. Since amenities varied dramatically from one gym to another, members never knew what they were getting. One location might have a full slate of group fitness classes, saunas, and childcare, while another might offer as few as one class per day and no extra amenities at all. This inconsistency created customer service nightmares. Members would sign up expecting certain amenities based on marketing materials, only to discover their local YouFit didn't offer them. Others would move to a new city and find that their membership didn't give them access to the same services they were used to. Now, YouFit is struggling to find its identity in a market that has moved beyond what they originally offered. They're not the cheapest option, not the most premium, and not the most consistent. They are the gym equivalent of a Swiss Army knife, theoretically useful for many things, but not the best tool for any specific job. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.